Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday. Happy coffee break to you. I am Spencer, aka Gila RPGs, and this is Coffee Break. Every Sunday, I sit down with friends and awesome people in the indie RPG scene, and we talk about whatever. We talk about either projects we're working on, things that we're inspired by, anything that we've got on our minds for this week. And this week I'm joined by Sam, aka Babblegumsam. Sam, would you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself to folks?
Hi. My name is Sam. I'm from Malaysia. Um, any pronouns are good for me. I'm a game designer. What else do I do? I make games about I've done everything from body horror to dating simulators, to tokusatsu action, to like lyrical art pieces where you walk around a city and look at stuff to play the game, to tell a story. So yeah, I consider myself quite diverse. So yeah,
I'd say
quite
so.
adventurous. Yeah.
You started off with body horror, which of course immediately reminds me of Horse Girl,
Yes.
which
Yes. Hospital. Yes.
which came out. When did that come out? I feel like that was like last month. I
It
don't.
was in November.
It was in
It was
November.
in November,
Oh my god.
just after Halloween. I did a Halloween thing. Yeah. That was actually like my first pure the revenue on each was like the best of any project I've had, excluding like Kickstarter and all that. Which was
Wow.
like, oh, people want weird sicko shit.
People want people
Okay.
want the weird stuff. People want the
People
weird
want weird
stuff.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
remember I remember when I like just the cover of that game alone like immediately draws you in and you're like I have to know what this is. Uh
And then you read about it, you're like, shit. I don't want to know what this is, but I
right.
need to
Oh,
know
I've
more.
learned too much.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
can I
yeah,
go
yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Um
It's that kind of game.
It's awesome. I mean, it's very cool. And yes, if you look at Sam's itch page, you could just see a variety of very cool stuff going on there. Um, the thing that I'm really excited about, and that we kind of wanted to come in talking about right away, and then we'll see where it goes, is the game that you are currently itch funding, which is Lumen Rider. So before we like dive into it, because I have so many questions about it. But before we dive in, can you tell folks
Yeah.
what Lumen Rider is? Like, what's the short pitch for it?
Okay. So have you ever have you ever wanted to play a tokusatsu show as an RPG, you know, and not just like a combat game, not just a game which is like focuses on the combat or the cool stuff, but focuses on the heart, on the feeling of watching one of these shows as a kid and enjoying like the pure joy and the pure excitement that comes from appreciating it, you know. So stuff like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Ultraman, like these are very pure shows. These are very pure properties because like they're very non-cynical. Even if they're cynical, they come from a very real place, from a very earnest place. Um, so yeah, I mean, okay. Before I get too far, in short, yes, this is the tokusatsu game. It bears resemblance to Kamen Rider, but you can actually do Metal Hero. You can do Sailor Moon. You can do basically anything. Basically anything within the tokusatsu genre. It has very fast combat. Um, you can play as two types of characters: the main riders and the allies. So the riders are those heroes who transform into like superpowered forms and basically throw punches and do their special attacks, you know. And then you have the allies. The allies are very important. Allies are super important because they're basically your friends. They're like your little sister or your rival or your monster love interest, right? They are there to support you in battle, and they will change the way battle plays. And it's fun to be support. Like I have to be an ally, right? Because like playtests, I've done a lot of playtests. What I love about what's going on is that in the most recent builds, especially I've managed to get to this point where like the players are like, holy shit, I need to rely on the allies. I need to have good relationships with my allies. I need to like I need to have been in sync with them, right? Because they decide whether I live or die. Because
Mm,
combat is lethal. It's fast. It's lethal. Um, well, I say fast. It's 1 hour, which is fast by RPG standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that that could be considered speedy.
Hmm.
Um, I love first of all, it's jumping out to me right away that you mentioned that you played support or you like support and support is important. For me, I'm such a support player in the few times I do get to play games, I don't like to be like the person who's like up front doing all the flashy stuff. I like to be the support person. So I want to be the fun like best friend that's like rooting people on from the side or things like that. So I'm glad that that is an option in
Yes.
Lumen Rider because I'm
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know any other game which does this. Like I know in 4E, clerics and stuff like that, they have support roles, but they're not 100% support characters.
Mm,
They're not. I haven't really seen this in a lot of games, RPGs specifically.
yeah. Momedos says in chat, recently made aware that there was a tokusatsu with fruit themed transformations.
Yes.
Amazed with how
Yes.
wholesome and fun it is.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Momentus is referring to Kamen Rider Gaim. Oh man. It is okay. Let me pitch it to you very quickly. Kamen Rider Gaim is a story about the path from. It's basically a battle royale in a cyberpunk city, where beat riders, where dancers summon monstrous Pokemon to fight to fight each other to gain control of stages. And then somewhere along the lines, it becomes a quest to become God, as an exploration on like adulthood, and exploration on like the Japanese phenomena of like cities eating into villages,
Mm,
and tearing away at the sacred sites, and tearing away at like what we used to make a village or small town great. It delves into like gentrification, as well as there's so many themes packed into this, and this is still a show where where you see these teenagers transform into fruit people. It's amazing.
there's a lot going on there. There is a lot
I,
going
I
on there.
I haven't scratched the surface. That's
Wow.
that's how cool it is.
Um, so the genre that Lumen Rider is inspired by, you listed off some examples. For me, I'm largely unfamiliar with the genre. I haven't watched many of these shows. So I have watched Power Rangers. That's my like go-to connection. So when I was looking through things, I was like, okay, so what is oh Power Rangers? Okay, I think I get it now. So what are like I know you mentioned some before, but what were some of like maybe the most inspiring like touchstones for you while you were designing Lumen Rider, so folks can get themselves like in the right mind space for it.
Touchstones. Wow. Whew. Um, this is a very long conversation.
Oh
This is a
no.
very long topic. Uh, Touchstones. Get for the mindset right. When we approach an RPG, most of us approach it in terms of like, because we're coming from TV, because we're coming from movies,
Hmm.
we're approaching it from a term of like, from a mindset of like, I want to do the cool thing, and I want the dice to let me do the cool thing. I want the game to let me do the cool thing. So like, there's always a balance in combat games, right? Between like, how do I make you describing doing the cool thing a meaningful thing.
Mm,
Like for example, in Fate Core, it's very much relegated to aspects. It's very much relegated to, um, you know, token spending and all that. But all that isn't necessarily satisfying for combat, right?
right.
And you want to be able to have that freedom to be like, describe bad CGI effects and all that. Um, you know, to do like roundhouse kicks and all that, and have it be meaningful.
Right.
So in terms of mindset going in, I really just want to capture the feeling of like, yes, this is a tactical game, but it's also very flavorful. It's both like complex, but it's also simple, which I think, building on top of the Lumen engine, I've managed to do. Um, because like, there is a kid in all of us, right? There is a kid in us, which when we approach games, we want to be able to take our fake action figures, and smush them together and have them fight, right? But at the same time, as adults, we want to be able to be like, you know what, we like rules. I like there being some form of like ritual,
Yeah.
all right, to us playing these games. So like, it's balancing that two things. So for me, yeah, the mindset going is that I do want players to be like, I want to be able to describe whatever the hell I want to do my actions, and I want to be meaningful. And I do feel based on the playtest, the many playtests we're doing, um, the Lumen system does do that very well, and what we built on top of that does do that very well. Um, so yeah,
I'm so excited about it. So, for folks who are like unaware, Lumen Rider is itch funding right now, right? It's the itch funding is still going on, correct? I think so. Yeah.
yep, it is. Hold on, let me check. So it was each funded 352.4% in one day for some reason, somehow, because y'all love this shit. And then we have and currently now we are 12% away from completely blasting away our stretch goals, which is wow. Okay, y'all.
You are
Wow.
it's explode. I mean, I do remember when you launched it, like boom, it exploded. I mean, you admittedly have a killer piece of art to draw people in like that. Who did the art
Oh,
for the who did that? Because that is really very cool.
oh wow. Well, I'm not sure whether whether they are comfortable with me sharing the real name,
Fair.
but I'll post your stuff up in the chat. This is JU5T07.
Okay.
we, they contacted me for because I was like shopping for artists for another project that's called Super Zeros, and then I was like, wait a minute, you're doing Toku, I'm doing Toku game. Let me hire you, and yeah, this and we're here. I don't know. They really are like I I don't even I don't even know like much about them, but they are solid. Like the
Mm,
stuff they've been putting out, the stuff they've been putting out for me is great. We also have like other artists on board, which we have yet to fully reveal everything about. But we
mm.
have Sarah Carapace. Sarah Carapace doing some kaijin for me. So she's doing our she did our sorry our spider kaijin and bat kaijin sample characters, which are going to be in the uh, in the core book. And then we have a lot more characters. We have a lot more artists. We got Sweet Cyanide from um RPG Philippines. Now
Nice.
she's Tina 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 has done like you should also check out. Let me just link Tina in the chat. She's doing stuff for Lumen Rider Capitalites. Oh
Mm.
wow, a tie-in with another game I made.
Pretty good. Very smooth,
Yeah,
Sam.
there we go. Oh. Wow, it's the Chinese in me talking. The old business entrepreneurship bullshit. I don't know. And then we have okay. This is the one I'm most excited about. We also have Daiti. Let me go
Mm.
put in Daiti. Daiti is Daiti is doing some other work for Lumerada Capitalites. So you should also check Daiti out. Um, they do very good Mike Mignola-esque art. Actually, actually, Tina Sweet Cyanide and Ben Daiti, they both do very good flat colors. They do very good
Mm.
shadow work. They do very good dark shit.
Nice.
So like that's why I want to get into Lumen Rider Capitalites, because Lumen Rider Capitalites is a Gnostic urban horror game. Um, so so what's cool about Lumen Rider Capitalites, apart from being a capitalized tie-in, um, it's special because it uses a very different form of form building, a very different form of power system, very different power system from the core game.
Mm.
So basically, everybody has a gauntlet and a belt, and without getting too much in the lore, basically like in the law itself, everybody is infected with a shard of the devil, a Morningstar shard, which manifests itself as monsters. And you get like a full we get like 22 major Arcana decks, cards based off each capitalized character. There's going to be 21 characters in the core book of actual capitalized, and there are 21 core characters in Rider capitalized. Each one is a major Arcana. So we have capitalized major Arcana thing, and then you can combine three of them to
Oh my
create a weapon.
God.
For example, you start off with a staff because your Lumen Lumen Rider Talker, which is based with powers based off TikTok. We have a staff, And then on top of that, you get to put in like stuff from other characters. So you get to put in like a machine gun hit, maybe like blades on like one end, and maybe like the ability to like create vines. So so we have a base weapon, and the weapon its features change based on which major arcana you're using. And the only way you get those major arcana is by defeating the monsters created by those characters in the game itself. So you have to go through character development to have more powerful weapons. It's a whole thing. I'm a big fan of my own shit. I
You
love it.
should be. That's awesome. I love the tie-in to your own stuff. That's rad. That's
Yes,
very,
yes, yes.
very cool.
You know what? Aaron just shouted out Cardcaptor Sakura. I don't know much about Cardcaptor Sakura, but you know what? If you want to do it in the game, you can. Oh, oh shit! There's also, oh my goodness. There's one more thing I need to plug, because you brought a whole artist, and you bring
Mm.
out artists makes me bring up you bring you up, this makes you bring up the projects I hate. We have Raven Warner from most known for Good Society,
Mm. Mm.
the Regency era role playing game. We got Raven Warner to do Lumen Rider Austin. It's the ultimate shit post. It's the ultimate industry shit post, because it will look exactly the same like Good Society, but there will be tokusatsu heroes instead of Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, I want to know a lot more about this because this is I remember when you started listing like stretch goals and stuff and seeing that I was like I need to know more. I need to know where this is coming. So you're saying this is inspired by a shit post essentially, or like where did Lumen Rider Austin come from? Like where did what brought that to your mind?
So, tokusatsu is all about mixing like very weird ideas together and somehow making it work. For example, the fruit theme one. The fruit theme one, it's a bit weird, like
Yeah.
that. You got a durian guy, you got an orange guy, you got a banana guy fighting with fruit themed weapons. Looks goofy, but there is an in-universe reason and logic why it is that way. Basically, the fruits are manifestation you know of the Helheim forest
Mm.
of Norse mythology, and like the fruits are basic part of the forest which you use to transform. Um, okay, so
Okay.
it's the it's the logic of like of tokusatsu being able to fit within any genre you want.
Okay.
Uh, Kamen Rider itself has been able to feature time travel, serious cop drama, um, even meta fiction in Akiba Rangers. That's not Kamen Rider. We've had high school drama, which is fantastic. Kamen Rider Foze, great series, one of my top 10 series. And then we have Hibiki, Kamen Rider Hibiki, which is traditional Japanese folklore, oni, and all that, but they're all musicians. So it's all about mixing all these weird ideas together and
Yeah.
start making something that makes sense, which is what Lumen Rider Core does. We got a shit ton of character generation, setting generation tables. I won't get into it. It's wild. But for Lumen Rider Austin, I was thinking like, what is the if I wanted to make a setting, what do I do that hasn't been done in the main series? What do I do which would make people turn their heads? What can I do that I would love? What can I do that will sort of like break new ground for the genre?
Mm.
I'm thinking like, holy shit, nobody's gonna expect Jane Austen. Nobody's gonna expect Jane Austen
No.
to work as a Kamen Rider, as a tokusatsu, even like a Super Sentai. Like that doesn't make sense because the two fandoms are so completely diametrically opposed. But you know what? I started watch because I watched these movies already. I started paying attention, rewatching Pride and Prejudice, and I realized like, holy shit, this like the core precepts, the core cliches, all of everything, right? It's structured like a tokusatsu show. You just need to resolve conflict with fights, you know. And like, holy shit, like, okay, what else make work sense? We got standing, we got ideas of like legacy and all that.
Right.
Oh, what makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Dinosaurs, that's cool. Everybody loves dinosaurs. How do I make this work? And I was like, shit, that for dinosaurs and in prehistory, it's all about the social order. It's all about the hierarchy, right? And it's all about who survives, and that's what Regency era England was about. It's all about the hierarchy. I was like, so I spoke to my co-designer Alyssa, also known as Ignia. Let me. She and I watch this stuff all the time. I forced her to watch, not forced her, but I drag her to watch tokusatsu stuff, and I watch period dramas with her. She well, we sat down. We were like, okay, you know what? Let's make this a battle royale.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this a dating simulator where if you want to get more powerful forms, you have to find a suitable match for yourself,
Oh my god, I love that.
romantic match. So it's a dating simulator battle royale set in the world of Jane Austen, which is Regency, actual Regency era England. And the thing is, it's not just a shit post. It's not just a shit post. It is something which somehow the more we work on it, the more like this actually makes sense. This is something that you could see on CBBS,
Mm.
done with the same production level as Doctor Who. Um, Maybe it might happen, maybe it won't.
Good.
But yeah, okay. So you got me on like a whole tirade on like pitching what's so great about Lumen Rider, and what we're doing. So yeah,
Well,
that's the thing. That's the
I like. I
that's the
mean,
whole.
I'm excited for it. I want you to be excited about it and to be shouting
Oh
about it
man.
because I mean, it did have such an explosive like launch when it came out. It was like boom, funded, boom, ready to go, and then so you are shooting for your last stretch goal now, right? So you're like 88%, yeah, 88% of the way to your last stretch goal. So you've got the Lumen Rider Austin. You've got the Capital Lights crossover. We got a whole bunch of things going on. What is the last thing that you're shooting for? What was the what's the final thing that if you hit the funding we
Okay.
see?
Lumen Lumen Rider D&D, which is both what you think it is and both not what you think it is and not what you think it is. Um, the first D stands for dungeons, second D stands for dance. I'm, so shout out to Apocalypse Frame by Binary Star Games.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a lot of plugs. They have actually done. Sorry, let me check. He has actually done Apocalypse Frame,
Hmm.
which is a game, a hex mecha game, done on Lumen system, which uses a grid, hex grid,
Yeah.
and like his design for monsters is designed for combat. His design for how it works, how Lumen as a system works on grid is fantastic. So I was like, shit posting is like, what can I replace the second D in Dungeons and Dragons with? And I was like, hey, Duns. And then like I was talking to Gam. Gam, oh my goodness. Let me go find here. Stuff again. Okay, so we have Gam. Uh, we got Gam from Midgardia
Hmm.
RPG. He does cool crowdfunding quite regularly. I've been on his show quite a few times. I was shitposting an idea with him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, actually, you should actually follow through this dance idea because a disco floor or roller rink is actually is a lot like a D&D grid, combat grid." I was like, "Okay, I have to do this," and then allies can be backup dancers. The way in Tokusatsu, the main monster will summon a bunch of like miniature monsters to go fight alongside them. Then those can be backup dancers, fell into place. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
I am
It's the
very
least.
interested.
Oh, it's a whole thing. It's man, it's a whole thing. Um, yeah,
It's awesome. So like yeah, you are getting close to that final stretch goal, which is awesome. I cannot wait to see that happen. I mean, this game has so many cool crossovers and ideas smashed into it or woven into it. There's a lot going on in Lumen Rider. There's a ton of going on.
yeah.
Um,
It's like it's enough. It's very flavorful, but like the game itself, it is not overwhelming. Ha
mm,
ha ha ha.
there we go. Excellent.
There we go. There we go.
Um, So, in terms of Lubin Writers like itch funding, I know. So there's the itch funding, like you can buy it online. Is there going to be a print version of it? Because I'm a sucker for print, and I know that I
Oh boy.
always love to be. Am I putting you on the spot to talk about
All
print?
right. Oh yeah, yeah. Print definitely is on the books.
Oh, nice.
So I don't want to say too much,
Okay.
but Tony from Plus One EXP has graciously provided us with pre-funding as well as some print as well as some print. As far as talks are going, he's very down to like help us out with um, print copies.
Cool.
And we'll see about how far that can go. So yeah, you will definitely have it in your hands in paper at some point.
Excellent.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna ask you, I don't know, what may be the hardest question. Um,
Oh no,
so as somebody who is not, I'm not steeped in the genre, tokusatsu. Like, if you had to recommend a single thing for somebody who has not experienced this genre to like,
hard question. No, it's not hard.
you got a
It's
you
not
got a
hard.
single one? You've got like a go-to recommendation for
Yeah,
somebody who's like, okay, I
yeah.
want to know more about this Lumen Rider thing, but I've never watched or experienced anything in the genre. What should I do to like prep myself?
I'll just be flat out straight with you. Tokusatsu as a show, as a genre, right? It's all the same in a good way. Uh, it's like how all the Power Rangers are similar, but they all bring their unique take on the formula.
Okay.
Um, so you could really just pick any one which has a genre you like. If you like detectives, go for Kamen Rider Double. If you like space pirates or very wholesome stuff, go for Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. Just Google like tokusatsu and then a genre you want. For example,
Okay.
why don't you tell me a genre you would like?
I love crime. Is there anything that's related to crime?
There we go. Oh man, you will love Kamen Rider Kuga because Kamen Rider Kuga is one of the early ones. It's very like gritty. It's uh, it's very gritty. It's very bloody for a kids show, and it's very serious. And it's about a man who a man full of life who slowly becomes broken over the course of his war with monsters that kill humans seemingly at random for just a game. And like it's very like it takes the emotions of the characters very seriously. It's There's no humor, but it's very like it's as a crime series it is on par. There's a fight scene in episode 37. Like there are a lot of fight scenes, good, great fight scenes, but the fight scene episode 37, which I feel is um more hardcore than anything I personally have seen in a lot of R-rated action movies because of the sheer emotion and the context of what's going on. Um, so yeah, so start with whatever genre you like. But for me personally, my favorite is Kamen Rider Forze. So
Okay.
I'm going to type that down in chat. Kamen Rider Forze. It is a high school show. With like I could write pages and pages about why it's a perfect TV series. But I'm just gonna sell it to you. And it's gonna be like, imagine a kids show set in a high school with a main character who just wants to be friends with every single person in the world, and it has the best character exploration in any TV show I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of great character run TV series. I watched, like even like I think you can go look at like Breaking Bad.
Mm,
It is on par with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul in terms of how meaty they get into these characters who seem to be high school stereotypes, but they really show like the real humanity and they really subvert every single high school school drama stereotype in the book, but they stick to them and they love it, and at the same time as they subvert it, it's a whole like it's good. It is Better Call Saul levels of good. Um,
okay.
so yeah,
I'm glad you put it in chat because I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm
you can't.
gonna
It's very hard to.
I'm gonna copy and paste that and I'm gonna use that later to go find it. 'Cause that sounds
Yeah,
awesome. I need a new show. So
yeah,
maybe this will
yeah,
be my new
yeah.
binge.
Yeah, and if it's not your thing, and if the whole formula and genre, the whole medium is not your thing, that's fine. But like I don't know, if you do want to dig into the genre, tokusatsu as a whole, it's probably the most earnest you'll ever get. Because superhero shows are getting very cynical nowadays. They're
Mm-hmm.
getting very dark. Which is fine. I love Doom Patrol, but like this is the other end. This is the 8-year-old in you being like, I'm watching this because I want joy. I'm watching this because I love my hero. I want to see them win. This is the genre. This is the genre which is best at doing that.
I could
Oh
really
gosh.
I could really use that because I do watch mostly a lot of shows where the main characters are just total shitheads and you don't like them and you're like, I mean it's good, but I really don't like this person
Oh
at
yeah, yeah.
all. I'm not rooting for
Oh
them.
Oh man, Hey, I love shows about shitheads. What are you watching nowadays? What?
Um, well, like, so you mentioned Breaking Bad. My partner had never seen it, so we did. We watched the whole
Ooh.
thing, and I was like, yeah, this guy. And it's upon the second time of watching it where you're really like, this guy sucks. Walter
Yeah.
White is the worst. Because like you get drawn in the first time you watch it, where you're like, oh, I think I'm kind of rooting for him, but like he's the worst. He's a horrible, horrible person. And the second time watching it through, I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, it's good TV, but this guy, I want him to just be punished. I want him to get his. And so I'm all for a show where I can actually root and cheer on the people. That sounds great to
Absolutely.
me.
But I think coming from both of us, right? Because you like power fantasy,
Yeah.
you design that sort of like empowering games, right? And you also love shows about shitheads. Uh, I'm the same way, because I love shows about shitheads hell a lot. I made a lot of games about shitheads. Lumen Rider
Yeah.
is the only game so far which is not about shit.
It's a real twist for you. It's a real expansion on your theme.
I'm not just the guy who makes games about shitheads. Come on, come on.
Aaron Lim mentions Marvel Adventures Avengers are their canon adventure. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
No, no, no. Those came. I think those came on cereal boxes here 10 years ago. I think
Oh,
that's what Aaron is.
gotcha.
I think that's. I think that's what Aaron is referencing.
Awesome. Excellent.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah, those were interesting. Yeah.
So Lumen Rider on itch right now. Itch funding.
Yes.
It's going great. Everybody who's watching this, go back it. If you have already backed
Oh
it, go
man.
shout about it because we got to get the Dungeons and Dancing. We simply have to have the
Yes.
Dungeons and Dancing.
You have to.
That
Uh-huh.
sounds awesome. Is it all going to be in one book?
Oh.
Like, is it all going to be woven together into one thing, or is it like
Um.
is that like a separate like
I
thing?
think there'll be. I'm hoping right now that there will be options for both. So
Gotcha.
like uh, omnibus and maybe like because some people don't want don't like Austin. Some people want body horror, gnostic stuff in their game. Some people don't want the association with dungeons.
Mm,
So like maybe maybe there'll be option to be like, yeah, I'm buying the core book and buying the setting, one
mm.
setting, maybe. So sorry, there will be there will there we'll see how it happens. But I do want to be able to give people what they want.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Um, So yeah, I'm excited about it. How long is do you have a set time that you're ending the itch funding, or is it kind of just going open until you're like, I'm done?
I'll say yes until I'm done. The fun thing about each funding is that it can go on indefinitely,
Right. You don't have
and
to
like
stop.
you know, I don't have to stop. Like Zemo is over. I started late, which was a tactical decision because one, I did not want to burn out to meet the zine month start, and two, I get in once everybody has done their stuff, and also three, I couldn't make it on time. But I
Very
will be.
tactical.
I I thought it out. I purposely made it so that I would not be able to finish on time. So that I would have, Uh, but okay, so yeah, so it'll go indefinitely until I mean, it's close to the goal. I think it will reach the goal. Um, yeah, and hopefully, if it does manage to rocket into like 3,000, 4,000, the money I want to give it to other creators to fund their own tokusatsu games because Lumen Rider by itself is meant to try and be a catch-all for the tokusatsu field, but
Mm.
I know shit, I have to plug someone else again. Hold on, I will be
You are
let me
doing
go
some
let me go
great
through it.
plugs for other people today.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Uh, no, I mean it's just like because there are other people making tokusatsu games.
Yeah.
There are other people making, but there's not a lot of us. There's like there's like what three, four, five people making
But people
making
clearly
those
want
instances.
it because Lumen Rider
Yeah,
exploded in success. So
yeah,
you've
yeah, yeah.
captured something that people are like, give me more of it.
Oh no. Oh, did I go out for a moment?
Just for a second, I think it froze, but I think we're back.
Oh, oh no. Okay, wait. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hello. Okay,
I
okay, we're
see.
back. We're back. Okay. So we got Radio Air Hyper. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he has been doing tokusatsu playbooks for W.H. Arthur. Arthur's uh,
The superhero
what's it called? The
cinematic.
Superhero Cinematic Universe TTRPG fan game.
Yeah.
And they've done Savior from the Sky. Savior from the Sky is Ultraman. And I think they also have done I forgot Lone Hero. Okay, the Lonely Path of Justice, which is made of inspired by Kamen Rider. So what these playbooks are doing, which Lumen Rider cannot, which Lumen Rider doesn't, is zoom in on like the personal stories of the main characters
Mm.
of like, for example, Ultraman, Kamen Rider. So there's a lot of different aspects to tokusatsu as a genre, which we haven't dug into much yet. So I want to see more stuff because this is stuff that I will see myself playing. Um,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, there's so many fantasy games. Come on, just give us like fun stuff about people in suits. Come
I'm
on.
for it. People in suits, give us something. And I think, you make what you want to play, right? You made the thing that you
Yeah,
want to play. Hey, speaking of
yeah.
making things you want to play, Sam, you've made quite a few interesting games. I'm curious. I'm curious, like, cause you have a wide. I'd say you have a wide variety of like styles of games, like not only in genre but of like type of type of game and everything like that. Uh, I'm curious, like, what is it? What is the thing that like? What does a day of like inspiration or writing for you look like? Because I have like a very specific style of game that I write, so like I can see how I do it. But you're like, I'm over here and I'm doing this, and now I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go do this, and like, where does it come from? Where does your inspiration fuel come from?
Ooh. Uh, okay. So, uh, oh wow. Okay, how do I phrase this? If you look at my stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's all very it's very like it's me being it's me being the blunt way to put it is me being pissed off all the time, and not in a very like aggressive way, but me being like deeply frustrated with things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we have my Christian games, right, which are obviously about my experiences with the faith. I'm
Mm.
still holding on to it in spite of like the organization, the system being fucked a bit. Um, so we there are like three games so far, which are different aspects of that. We have like games about love, which are not love romance games, but we got Fuck Me Fuck You, which is about toxic relationship. It's an old one. I don't think it has aged too well, but I'm glad it exists. We got Wet Secret, which has aged very well. It's about saying goodbye to someone you love and bringing out past secrets and talking with them about it. It's not it's the issue the best part about game, which is also the main issue with it, is that I don't tell you to play fictional characters. So I've had people tell me
Mm.
I played this with my partner and they got very uncomfortable because we started bringing up like stuff.
Ah, they play
um,
themselves.
yeah, which is like which was very early lyric design.
Yeah.
That was before like a lot of safety came about. So it's again, it may have not aged well, certain regards. But I'm glad it exists, and I think it has gotten like a very good reaction from people who have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Mutant Monster, Machine Girls, and Caplites. Like all these things are me trying to like make sense of my life, right? The things which have happened, my own growth process, which has been very painful.
Mm.
My own process of like sorting shit out myself, learning how to like um, grow in a way which is not destructive, deal with my pain, see other people deal with the pain. How do I help them deal with the pain? and that sort of like that whole process, right, manifests itself as um, me making something which may not necessarily look like the thing which I was dealing with, but it's like sort of like a conclusion of
Mm.
sorts. So what you're seeing is my real time character growth as a person. Because I am, I mean, I don't want, I'm not gonna go like too deep into like shit lah, but like I think the most obvious example is Capitalites because that has literally everyone from my life in a game, good and
Mm.
bad, and like I wanted to explore that in a way which was like good for other people and for myself, for us to be like, okay, here's how all the ways we are insecure, here's all the ways we are fucked up, but we cannot deny that we are human, and that means something, and that we can take that somewhere good. For example, I mean, you can play a weird nerd in Capitalites. You can play like an NFT hustler in Capitalites. Now, you and me, we don't like those people,
Right.
but in Capitalites, playing them, putting ourselves in their shoes, doesn't mean we have to like them, but it also can mean like we are looking at their lives from perspective of like why they make the decisions they make,
Mm.
and how that looks like when it comes into play with other people. It's a human exploration game, where we explore people we don't like, um, and
Interesting.
that's like that has been like my process of trying to be empathetic towards people who have I don't like, who I know are bad, but at the same time, I think the empathy is important, which we can go like, you're still human. I don't like you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I hate you. Sometimes I wish you were dead. Uh, but you're still human, and I need to accept that so I can move on. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
I mean, have
So
you
yeah, my
I I'm curious, have you found that to be like a because I'm fascinated with the idea of sort of unpacking that stuff in games, in the stuff that you design. Do you find it to be a like cathartic process to write and release something like that, where you do feel like you're like, okay, I feel a little bit better about whatever it is that has been like brewing inside of me?
I would say it is cathartic, and I don't really think about me choosing to write certain things that make them I don't publish it without feeling as if I have dealt with it.
Mm.
That's why it's taken me 5 years to create Super Zeros.
Mm.
Uh, because like it was during my before my university days, it was very much me trying to grapple with like the fact that like well-intentioned people do bad things in the
Mm.
name of like good intentions. That no matter how hard you try, you can still end up a bad person because sometimes it just works out that way. How do we get out of that situation? So I was dealing with that like 5 years ago, and it got me to a point where I had to get there first
Yeah.
and then get out of there. And I'm like, shit, okay, now I can write Super Zeros. Now I can make the game. So when that happens, it's happening. It's gonna happen because I play tested the shit out of it recently. It's great. It's a fantastic game. It's like basically just Doom Patrol, Umbrella Academy,
Okay.
all those sort of like adult introspective superhero shows, but comics as Mr. Miracle as
Mm.
well, the comic book by
Yeah.
Tom King. Um, Talking about trauma, talking about like what it means to be a hero and all that in a realistic world. That is what superheroes is about. Super Zeros is about, and it it will contain like my journey throughout that process. So I don't. I think whatever I make, I try my best to make it constructive.
Yeah.
I think that's why Horse Girl work, because Horse Girl is about changing yourself, allowing someone to change you into something unrecognizable to be loved, and like it's not my story to tell. It's the story of someone very close to me in real life.
Mm.
But like because I was there for them, I was affected by that. So that me happy. It took me 8 months to write Horse Girl because it was very difficult to write, and it's only until I had gotten to that point in my life where I'm like, okay, I know what this is about, and I wrote Horse Girl for that person.
Yeah.
And I showed it to them. They were like, shit, I love this.
Well, that's
Um,
great.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I mean, I'm not claiming to be like this guru or this genius who knows how to how to like deal with this stuff. I still have a lot to grow. I still a lot to learn. I still fuck up from time to time, but like I think I want to be able to help other people help themselves with that process through
Yeah.
art. Um, that's my long term goal. As you can see, Lumen Rider Core is very different because it's just me being a fan. There is nothing deep about it. I'm not saying like, oh, this is but no, it's not deep. It's just jump kicking people, a bunch of dudes kicking each other and could do shouting catchphrases.
Sometimes
So
you
yeah,
just have to do a jump kick.
yeah, yeah. Maybe the only reason I was able to write Lumen Rider Core is because I finally had reached a point in my life where I can appreciate joy.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, maybe that's also a reflection, very personal thing. Uh, yeah,
It slipped its way in and you weren't even aware of it. Um,
yeah, yeah,
that's cool. I mean,
yes,
I'm happy to hear that you're like that you're finding that to be a beneficial experience. Are there other
yeah.
people who's like did you like because I'm curious about this. Did you find like another game out there where somebody was sort of doing something similar to what you do and you went like and there was that like aha moment where you're like, "Oh, I can kind of manifest the things
Hmm.
that I'm thinking about in games," or is that something that you sort of did on your own and then you maybe realize that there are other people who are maybe doing similar things?
Loads. I think there are loads.
Yeah.
Remember Sad Mac Jam? Remember 2000 at the fall year of 2019 where we were making lyric games and it was so new and so fresh
Yeah.
and nobody thought they could make money from it, so nobody tried and we all were weird as fuck. Um, like like if you go back to some of our games, the people who were around then, right? You look at our games now, you look at our games then, they're so different. Uh, like for example, J Dragons. My favorite J Dragon game is Alone in Your Car, which
Mm.
is about. I'm not sure whether Jay would be okay with me plugging this or at least giving a link because it's unlisted.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I don't. But like it's a good one of my favorites personally because it does have it captures a very real feeling of going on a road trip and waiting the hours out. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's great that you can't find it anymore because it's so. I don't know because it's special. Like it's special to me, and like I guess if I want to shout out people who have made games that are available. Oh my goodness. Justin Joyce. I know my God. I know my God. Uh, let me plug Justin Joyce's I Know My God, which is about growing up in a strong Christian community
Mm.
and growing up in a strong Christian community and realizing you're queer. It's framed like Davy and Goliath or Moral Oral, the Adult Swim show. It's filmed like a like a children's TV series for Christians, and it really digs into something which is very personal. We also have I would say Archangel Dating Simulator
Mm.
by Maria Myson. Maria isn't really um, as active as before,
Mm.
but you should definitely check out their work as well. Maria Bumbi on Itch.io. Um, a lot of like angelic therapeutic, very like mostly therapeutic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they have a very good guide for making your RPG/story game more healing slash therapeutic, which is you can find it on their itch page. Again, I think Maria is one of my favorite people in the industry. I think she's
Mm.
probably the one I'm closest with. Um, so and we very much have like similar brains on things. Um, so you should definitely check it out. You also, I think one more person I want to plug is in terms of like games which have made me feel that way. Let me think. Let me look through because I made a list. uh, I think Aaron Lim is in chat.
Mm.
Aaron Lim did Fade from Black, which is about intimacy. Let me see, intimacy after sex. Um, which is it's a short lyric game. It sort of like explores the feelings you have After being intimate with someone. We have Butterflies by Idle Cutlery. Also a great game about it's a game you play with coloring pencils, and it's about whether or not you should kiss someone.
Mm,
So all these games are very like capture a very real thing about being a person,
yeah.
which and I think the fact that all these games do come from like earlier, this I think they speak a lot because um like they're just I feel like they're the designer expressing something about their own personal life, which I find very very like real. And I
Yeah.
think I do love games that are very real, maybe a bit too much, right? uh, uh, I think one more thing I want to plug is Logan by Logan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's let me pull let me pull that on in the chat. Logan by Logan. Um, Ink and Stories on Twitter. It's an autobiographical TTRPG, and it deals with themes of like coming out. It deals with themes on reflecting about life, um, specifically about Logan's experience with their Logan's experience with his his gender identity and that growth, that personal growth. I got the chance to play test it. It was great. It's very I don't me I feel like I'm selling these games short, but like it's hard for me to like. I think the best way for me to sell these games is to tell you that they are real
Mm,
and that they come from a very personal place, which is very like it's something which I think role playing games should see a lot more of. Because it allows me to relate, for example, to you, right? Because even though our lives can be very different, I think that there are a lot of like overlaps, and how do we like how do we explore that?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's so fascinating to me that there is this community and there's this group of people who are creating these games that are about exploring themselves or exploring just being human because so many folks do think of and see games as escapism as a like I don't want to think about me. I don't want to think about my own stuff. I want
yeah,
to go do a thing and admittedly all of my games are power fantasy bullshit. So
yeah,
my
which is
games
great. Yeah,
my games are like I don't want to think
yeah,
about anything right now.
yeah,
I want to do a flip. I want to do a cool flip.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Same. That's why I'm here because we were talking about one of those games, and then like you brought me other stuff, and like yeah, there's also this whole other.
But it's cool and I think those are games that like it's interesting that you did mention that they are older or they do come out at like the beginning stages of like a developer's time as they're like designing and like understanding themselves. um it's neat, it's cool stuff. So like speaking of working on stuff, I know like Lumen Rider is the thing that's at the top of your list right now. Do you have another thing that you're like brewing in the back of your
Yeah.
brain right now, or is it you've got something else right now?
So I got two things: the aforementioned Super Zeros game.
Yes.
Um, but I think since I tuned into your interview with the Possum Creek gang
Mm.
last week, that did cause me to be like, okay, shit. What if I made? Yeah, I was also thinking about Logan's autobiographical TTRPG. I'm like, okay, let's what if I made a capitalized game, but also which is also autobiographical.
Mm.
So it's a capitalized spin-off of my life and the lives of my peers, right? Um, and so I ran this by my best friend, and she was like, "Shit, yeah, you should do this. You should have people play as Jordan." And I'm like, "Okay, shit, let's do this." Um, so my main one thing I have to really think hard about is that like I know for a fact this isn't me trying to be like, um, I know this. There is obviously is gonna be it's definitely gonna be narcissistic in a way because I want you to partake in my life and play me or Jordan or someone
Right.
else. But at the same time, it's like just a way for me to capture the journey that I've been
Mm.
on, that me and my friends have been on, and sort of like allow you to do the whole capitalize thing of like putting yourself in the game and sort of like reworking things and understand and sort of like having that growth, right? Um, there are some very personal elements
Mm.
to what I've written. It's very as usual with any game I make. It's so I want to be able to be like it's a journey. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's something that I'm exploring right now. The Capitalites, the true story of Sam slash Clarice, the whole thing. Uh, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I won't publish it. Maybe if I feel it's a bit much or it's a bit pointless, I won't do anything with it. But it's an interesting thing to explore.
Yeah.
But Super Zeros is way more consumer friendly. Do check out Super Zeros when it's out. Have you ever wanted to be Superman but sad instead of evil? Well, now you can. There we go.
That's a good pitch right there. That's a powerful pitch. Um,
Oh man,
that's awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see that stuff coming up. And I'm so excited about Lumen Riders.
yes,
So it's out on what you call it? Itch right
it's
now.
funding.
Itch funding right now. So close to getting to that last stretch goal, which absolutely
Yeah,
needs to happen. Dungeons and
yeah,
dancing. Um,
yes,
uh, and there's talks about getting some sort of print version at some point as well. So like I'm super into it. I've
yeah,
we've uh last summer we did like a thing where people who were making Lumen games sort of like they all did itch funding like in a 3 month period to try and boost each other, and it went well. There was a lot of cool Lumen games, but Lumen Rider is like exploding in success. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited to see Lumen Rider
yeah,
doing well. Um,
yeah. I'm happy because oh my goodness, this is gonna be a whole other thing. But like, um, so I made Mutant Monster Machine Girls 2 years ago. I didn't like, I didn't feel confident with it. So I made like a Ashcan first edition release, and I left it unfinished. And I spent like the next 2 years coming up with 9 different versions for second edition
mm,
because it was meant to be a tokusatsu gore game. Um, and then Lumen Rider is what came out of it because like it's me going like fuck it, I don't want to touch this game for now. And then I picked up Lumen and I was like, hey, I like Tokusatsu, like Super Sentai Kamen Rider now. Why don't I just make something with it? Then it came out. But then like I do appreciate Lumen system because it solved a lot of problems I was having in those 9 versions I made of Mutant Monster Machine Girls 2. And then it was great because I could actually take the technology, the mechanics I worked on in those 9 versions and sort of like put it in Lumen, and it works. And like it works. It's like holy shit, it works. Um, so yeah, I mean, great. It's a great thing. I think people should definitely. There are a lot of hacks nowadays, and I'm very excited to see where that goes. Yeah, it's a great.
I've, I've,
It's a great system.
I'm trying to think about like, because I feel like the time frame between you saying like, can I make a tokusatsu game with Lumen, to you like throwing that question out there, to you like having Lumen Rider made was a really short period of time. Like, maybe I've misremembered, but I feel like
Le-
you kind of were like, is this a thing I could do? And then you just had like a whole game.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's less than a month. I made like the playable version in less than a month. In
Wow.
December because I was on my winter slump. I was just chilling around. I was
Uh,
like, on the weekends, let's just make something for fun, and then this came out. And I'm not doing it for fun anymore, which is good and bad. But hey, I'm very happy that somehow I got this out in like I made something that works in less than 2 months.
yeah,
Oh my goodness!
it's
Yeah,
I really do feel like I remember seeing you post that question, and then like there was a whole thing, and I was like, Sam is
yeah,
flying. This is awesome.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Luna for coming out with the name Lumen Rider because you know, Luna. What's Luna? I don't know. I forgot their handle. Luna Luna from RPG Let M.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just shit posted the idea, and I was like, okay, yeah, shit, that's too good to pass. That's too good to pass, and it's so good for SEO as well.
It is. It is. Very good. Very
Yeah,
tactical.
yeah. By
Um,
accident. By accident.
yes. So, like we said, go back Lumen Rider on itch. Go throw your money at it. Go shout about it if you've already thrown money at it. Let's get that Dungeons and Dancing final stretch goal handled.
Yeah.
Sam, this has been a blast to like just learn about
Well,
the genre, the game, about you as a designer. Is there anything that has been like at the top of your brain that you really wanted to talk about that we didn't cover?
uh, I think that's mostly it because I didn't expect to get talk about my other stuff. It was very interesting. Well, I don't get to do that often, so it's nice. Thank you for that.
Of course.
I guess I just want to give a shout out to. I just want to say that like, Lumen Rider is not affiliated with Toei or Surabaya Productions in Japan. I'm not affiliated with them. This is a purely not even a fan game. It's a original thing. Lumen Rider does not bear only bears like a passing resemblance to Kamen Rider. Is inspired by it, but does not claim to represent it. Um, if any of you weird nerds want to be anal about it, uh, go ahead. I guess. Sure. Okay. Do it. Go ahead. I don't care. But I also like to thank all the give a shout out to all the all the fanatical nerds, all the weird nerds out there who are bravely defending the corporations that give them very little. You obviously expecting nothing in return. I appreciate what you're doing to put the indie scene in place. I think we are obnoxious, we are rude, we are out of touch, the indie scene, and I thank you all for like constantly beating us down and telling us, shit. Yeah, I hope y'all get what you. I hope you get something because you're not getting anything.
I hope the
But anyway,
corporation. I hope they fuck you, which is what you really want them to do so
no, no,
badly.
no, no. I hope the corporations gave like a full list of the names of people who have been
Mm.
protecting them from us. Because I really hate Wizards of the Coast. I hate. I spend every waking moment of my life raging against Dungeons and Dragons 5e. Um, I am. Oh,
It's a good
I
final
can't.
shout out that you've given
It's a great
that
final
you've
shout out.
given
Yeah,
here.
I give a lot of shout outs. It's the best one. I think it's the most important one.
It's a
I love
really
I love all the yeah
really powerful shout out at the end. So I mean,
yeah
speaking of,
yeah.
if people wanted to find you online or find all of this stuff, where can people find you to learn more about your designs or see what you're up to, all that? I'll have the links in the descriptions of the VODs and the podcast, but share away, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, go on my Twitter, Babblegumsam. It's like Bubblegumsam, but with an A instead of a U for the first U. You should also check out my itch.io. I'll be hopefully be able to start a proper Substack soon. So a blog, we'll see about that. Because I want to do more self care nowadays. So that means less, trimming away at what I don't feel is completely necessary. Um, Follow me on Instagram
Oh,
because I've been posting some real bangers there recently about my personal life. Yeah, it's nothing to do with my games. I don't talk about my games on Instagram at all. But by all means, follow me on Instagram. You'll see that I'm not just some niche, weird internet micro celebrity. I'm also a person who does normal people things. Uh, so yeah,
is it the
follow
same
me on
handle on
Instagram.
Instagram?
It's
Babblegum Sam?
obviously the same handle.
Ec-
Obviously the same handle. I
Excellent.
I'm it's called branding.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Oh
folks,
boy.
do make sure to go follow Sam. Go follow the Instagram. Go see what the life
Yeah.
outside the designer is like. Um,
Yes.
throw the money at Lumen Rider. Shout out
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Yeah.
Lumen Rider. It's awesome. Uh,
Yes.
Sam, this has been great. I'm so excited about this
Pretty
game. I
good.
really appreciate learning more about you as like a designer from all aspects. I really appreciate that. Um,
Thank you.
hope you all had a good time as well, and hope you all have a great rest of your
Wow.
day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is you are. We will be back next week. Next week, I believe I'm sitting down with HTTP Paladin. I have to,
Oh,
I think
yes.
I have to check my calendar, but I'm pretty sure that is who is next. So, we will see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.
I'll I'll be here. I
Good.
mean, chat not here, but yeah.
Awesome. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.